This episode is so full of Catholicism that we left stuff out. Pitney can't believe he didn't tell y'all that when he was an altar boy, he loved working funerals because the families would tip. And I totally didn't tell y'all the Sound of Music made me want to be a nun. But you're still getting a lot of the juicy tidbits we've been promising, in fulfillment of the scriptures. Now, take this, all of you, and listen to it. This is our podcast, which will be given free for you. Welcome to Pitney and Amelia's Bitchen Boutique.
We may be awful, but
we're right.
Oh my god, how do we want to start?
Oh jeez.
Do we want to start with a Hail Mary?
Oh god. Do you remember it?
The Hail Mary?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, of course.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. I hate that line because the inflection is stupid. There should be a pause before Jesus.
Yes, and Holy Mary,
Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. All the prayers are so cheery.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Yeah, I learned the Hail Mary from my aunt. I specifically because at that house praying before you went to bed was a bigger deal. And I was always sleeping in the bed with my cousin, and she and my aunt would come in and she would be like, are you ready to pray? Because she's also the one when it's time when we all sit down to dinner, it's just like, shall we pray? I mean, I love her, but she's that family's way more church. But all of their kids went to Catholic school and everything. But like it was like, before we had to do Our Father and we had to do Hail Mary.
Oh, see, I don't remember. I think I remember when I was little. When, I would be tucked in, I would have to pray, but it was normally just, say your prayers and say your God bless yous, and that was it.
God bless Mommy, and God bless... See, I have no memory of actually... But then again, I tried to not interact with my family at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone could make me do anything.
Oh, yeah. I used to go through the litany in my head. God bless Mom, and God bless Dad, and God bless Candace and Tammy, and God bless Auntie Sandy and Uncle Herbie, and God blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my
blah,
God,
blah, all my cousins,
yes.
All my aunts and uncles, and Nana. And I was in that,
my God.
and then later I was just like, whatever.
and what was your... Penny. That was your dog.
And Penny.
Yeah, you have to...
Oh, I'm sure I
have to
God bless
Penny.
I don't remember. I'm sure I did,
You gotta do the dog.
And probably Daisy and Sam and Susie and Dickens and Cleo and all...
Everybody's pets.
Everybody's pets.
Oh, my God. Well, of course, when you're a kid, they're way more important than the people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even now.
I could not wait to go to Auntie Katie's and Uncle Dan's house because I could play with Dickens.
Dickens is a cute name. That is so cute. What kind of a animal was Dick? I'm assuming a dog.
He was just a black mutt.
Cute.
He was a black mutt, and they named him Dickens because somehow they ended up adopting him on Christmas Eve.
That's adorable.
And of course it was for Charles Dickens, but
right.
It turned out he was a very sweet dog, but the naughtiest thing in the world.
But he was a bit of a Dickens.
And he was a bit of a Dickens, so it ended up being the perfect name for him.
I love that so much. My aunt, well, not my mom's sister, but my dad's sister, she had a beagle named Boozer.
Oh.
And he was the only beagle I knew, like, my whole life, like in real life. And I never saw an actual beagle. He was so fat and so huge. I don't understand. It's kind of like when you see a Chihuahua, but he weighs 20 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
And mine, weighs 4.5 now. And it's just how How is that the same dog? Like, Boozer was enormous. He was just so cute.
I don't even think I know what a real beagle looks like.
They're little. There's like,
Yeah,
there's the small one and the big one, but the big one is still like eensy bean. It's like smaller than medium.
So smaller than like Joxer.
If Joxer had longer legs.
Oh, okay.
If he was
See,
taller.
I don't even know what a beagle looks like. I know what Snoopy looks like.
But Snoopy actually doesn't look anything like a beagle.
Yeah.
But that's not what we were going to talk about.
yes, but, you know.
Oh my god. Welcome everyone to the episode we've been promising for 8 years.
Oh, yes.
The Catholicism episode.
Yes, our adventures and misadventures in Catholicism and the rejection thereof.
You know, and the stuff that, you know, the stuff we still like, because there's, I mean, damn it. It's one thing for us to criticize Catholicism, but when other people criticize it and they don't actually know anything about it. Like when I moved to Texas and I had a history teacher who was the kind of guy who, he used to be a lawyer, and then he decided he wanted to coach football, so he became a high school teacher, because it's Texas.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
And so he taught economics and American history, and first class, first day of school in Texas, and I didn't call him sir. That was Yeah, I had a great relationship with this guy. He did not like that I didn't call him sir, and I was like, my dad was a colonel in the army, and I don't call him sir.
Right.
It's like, I was a little bit of a smartass with him, but who the fuck did he think he was? Like, I'm going to call him sir. But anyway, he was the kind of teacher who would just say, I mean, it was a big deal that Kennedy got elected president, because, you know, Catholics do everything the Pope says. And I'm sitting there going, what? Because it wasn't until I moved to Texas that I realized that people had a problem with Catholics.
I know, well, because here in the Bay Area, everybody's Catholic.
Well, actually, they're not. It's just that everybody shuts the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like everybody
There's a lot of Catholics here. I mean, not everybody's Catholic, but there's a lot of Catholics here, way more than
you'd probably think.
Baptists or anything, Methodist or whatever.
Well, it seems like it, but there's, I mean, you know, I don't know. There weren't that many Catholic churches. We had like 2 to choose from on our side of town that I was aware of. I don't think I ever saw another Catholic church on my side of town in San Jose.
Oh, I don't know. There
was Santa Teresa, which we went to because this girl Ella and her family went there, and we didn't like it. It was a little snooty britches for us. And then we went St. Julie Billart, who had a little wooden church that had like stacking chairs. It didn't have pews. It didn't have kneelers. It had like indoor outdoor carpet and stacking chairs. It was so 70s, like hip, like everything was like felt, applique.
Oh yeah.
And it was so 70s and so like multi-use room for an actual church. Very cute. Yeah. Very cute little church.
To me, it has to have pews.
I mean, most do.
Although Mom's church doesn't have pews anymore. The church that I grew up
They took them out?
There's no more pews. It's those church chairs that link together.
Yeah.
With individual kneelers.
Oh, well,
in the chair in front of it.
That's weird.
But no more pews, and I was so wrecked when they took out those pews, because that's part of the experience to me, is the pews, you know.
Yeah, pews are very and pews with the little bookshelf and the kneel. It's like, you know.
And to me, they can't be these modern cushioned pews. They have to be.
They have to be hardwood, pews. Not like ergonomically conformed to butt shape.
Yes, because they have to smell like wooden pews.
They have to smell like furniture polish.
To smell like the church has to smell like candle.
Yeah.
There's no more candles in churches anymore. It's all battery operated.
Oh, because of like allergies and shit, and definitely no incense. I only
They
went to
do
like one
incense for certain things.
See, I
but
only
not
went
like
to
they
one
used
church
to.
that had incense, and that was when I lived in Topeka. That was where the church where I had my first communion. And that was Most Pure Heart of Mary was the name of the church.
Oh.
It was much more churchy than the churches that, I was accustomed to. And then when we moved to Texas, well, Santa Cruz used to be this ancient parish church that was built by the parishioners in the 1800s with like stacked stones. There's a certain style that's very common in this area for very, very old churches. In fact, the old San Juan Diego church in Austin, the original one, the Juan Diego church, looked just like exactly like, God, is there like a set of blueprints that they hand out? And that church,
see, I
love those too. And that church, the back of the church was filled with statues that were way too big, and like they didn't fit back there. And they had like the little miracle child thing in like the glowing box over the altar, and a giant wooden rosary on this old door that didn't open anymore. But if you sat too close to that door, it always freaked me out because there were always daddy long legs all over that wall. Because that church was fucking old. And I mean, but that's one of the reasons why I liked it. And then when they built the new church, the one that looks like it might as well be like the Mall of Religion, the most enormous church. I mean, that church just, when a church is too new, it doesn't feel right.
Oh, yeah, it's not the same.
No,
it's
I mean,
not
I
the
liked
same.
the little 70s groovy church with the folk masses and the felt applique. I liked that when I was a kid. But, if I'm going to be in a church now, it needs to feel like
me too.
The devotion of thousands and thousands of people over hundreds of years needs to be like soaked into the walls.
And what is it about going into an old Catholic church? You get this feeling of awe and spirituality and calm and reverence.
Because they're built right.
But any other Christian church, you go in there and you just feel the energy of filth.
It's, yes! Thank you! Thank you!
Of just horrible, wrong.
Oh my God!
Like when people say, "Oh, I identify as Christian," I just roll my eyes.
It's like you don't even know.
I don't
like,
say anything.
Like,
but if they say Catholic, I'm like, "Oh, okay, then." That's okay.
Exactly. But like, oh my God, this one time.
If they're Baptist, don't even talk.
When I went to this funeral, my friend, when my friend's grandfather died, and I went to his funeral with him. I swear to God, that was like the first time. I think it was a Baptist church. I think their family was Baptist. And the reason why I think it's Baptist is because I swear to God there was a fucking hot tub right behind the altar. And I just remember thinking, like, how like a hot tub will be on a cycle, like a timer, because it has to churn every so often to keep the chlorine moving. I swear to God, you'd be sitting in there and they, people would be saying whatever they're saying, and then you just hear the fucking hot tub fire up. And I'm like,
now, was it for baptism or was it the pastor was a dirty old man like they all are?
I think it was intended for baptism, but that's,
okay.
But like, well, because like the creek down there hardly ever has any water in it. If you're gonna do like the going down to the river for a baptism. Which, thank God, Catholics don't do that bullshit.
Yeah, oh, that's right, because in those other churches, like, you have to be totally immersed.
You be immersed in water. You have to plug your nose, and they tip you backwards.
That's right, because in Catholic, you just get holy water on your forehead,
right.
And that's
and
it.
You're a baby, and you don't remember it. And I remember, that was another thing moving to Texas, was, the roommate that jerked off so much into condoms that he killed the pipes of the house. That roommate,
God damn
when
it.
we were in high school, he was one of those like no one. He was a pothead. He cussed like a sailor. All those things, but because he would also jump up on chairs and preach like fire and brimstone at people. So the school administrators thought, oh, no, he's a good boy. He's not like the rest of those art students.
Yeah.
the PIBs and the people in black.
Forgotten he was a crazy Christian.
But
I forgot about that. Yes.
Because like one day out of nowhere, and he was at my house. He was at like my family's house, and one day like he goes, so how does like baptism work? How do you guys do baptism? And I was like, well, you get baptized when you're a baby. And he goes, ugh. And I go, and I'm like, what? And he goes, well, it doesn't count. He goes, you're a baby. You can't say you want to be baptized. You can't say that you give your life to Jesus or whatever. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. Because the baby can't say certain magic words. It's not the same thing. The water isn't magical water unless the person being baptized says the magic words. And he was just like, I just think it sucks that you're going to go to hell. I used to have people saying shit like that to me all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was the time in choir class, where that bitch, who had the same name as me, so I'm gonna call her Amelia, that other Amelia, who was a fucking cunt, walks up. She was the guy in choir class. There's always like the church choir kids. And they're all fucking Protestants. They're all fucking Protestant garbage. And the kind of thing like you just hear them talking before class, like, last night I was reading in Romans. Oh my God, so was I. Ah!
Oh God.
Yes. And she walks up to me, Amelia, what religion are you? And I was like, Catholic? And she goes, oh, well, that's okay. And she walks back to her seat. And I'm thinking, thanks?
Oh my God.
Like, what? And I only said Catholic because I didn't want to have that discussion with her about how I'm not a religion. But if I had to pick one, that's just the default setting. It's like, I don't...
Oh, God.
What a bitch. I hated her so much.
And it's like, your friend that you were talking about, like he was so devout and such a good Christian boy. Give me a break. Like, his, like, baptism by choice sure as hell didn't do him any good.
Didn't affect him at all. He was like, he literally told me once, he goes, no, the thing about the Bible is no matter what problem you have, you just open that book and start reading, and it's gonna have an answer for your problem. He treated it like a goddamn magic 8-ball.
Well, that's what tarot cards are for.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Brew Crime, a true crime and beer podcast.
This is a podcast where we pick a theme, cover a few cases, and pair them with craft beer.
Join me, Mike.
And me, JT.
As we explore the world of crime, conspiracies, or whatever catches our attention. You can find us on social media at Brewcrime or our website, brewcrime.com. And you can find us on any podcast app at Brewcrime Podcast.
Join us as we discuss the horrible crimes that surround us and maybe, definitely tip a bottle or two back as you do it. Drink with us the second and last Tuesday of every month.
Oh my God. Oh, speaking of Bibles. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, speaking of the making a conscious choice thing.
Oh,
when we get baptized, or Catholics get baptized as kids, because if you're not baptized as a baby.
What if you died?
And you die.
Exactly.
You go to limbo.
Exactly. You stay in purgatory forever because you have original sin, but you didn't have a chance to sin on your own.
You can't go to heaven. You go to limbo if you're a baby.
That's right. And
whatever the
so
fuck
you gotta
that
hurry
means.
up, and you gotta dunk some water on the baby's head.
But I remember I was not forced, but everybody was expected to. We just were confirmed in the 8th grade. And we had to go through all these classes and blah, blah, blah. And basically it was a committing to being a Catholic for life at the age of like 12.
Did you have
what the fuck does a 12-year-old know to make it a choice like that?
Did you get a confirmation name?
Yes.
Is it something worth saying?
Oh no, I picked St. Patrick
That's a good one.
because it was a saint name.
Yeah.
It was St. Patrick.
Yeah, because
was
it's
my
always the same
confirmation
name. I don't. It's like, I wasn't confirmed because fuck it. Because when I was 11, that was when my mom saw. She could tell by looking at me one day in church that I was like, oh no, these people actually believe what they're saying, and she could just tell that I'm like, oh, I don't have the Holy Spirit. I was just going along with it because it's what everyone else was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And so she told me I didn't have to come to church anymore, but I would go sometimes just for fun. But I'd had my first communion when I was like 6 or 7, I guess. But,
me too. Yeah, yeah.
But like, confirmation was completely out the window. But I remember the valedictorian got, she did confirmation when she was in like 6th grade. And then I thought the Duchess just never did because she totally didn't go. I mean, I think I was going to church longer than she was, and she was 3 years younger than me. Because, she was always, had more important things to do or whatever. I don't know. She got away with whatever. But I was looking through my mom's, like, the family Bible that has all the family records and stuff in it.
Uh-huh.
And her Bible is so pretty. I'm going to just steal it from their house because I don't know if my sisters even want it. But as Bibles go, it's so gorgeous. I don't think he's ever even looked at it. Although it was sitting open. It was sitting open in the bedroom there, but I don't know if he was looking at it or if someone else was looking at it, just forgot to close it. I don't know. But that was how I noticed that the Duchess had a confirmation thing written in there. And isn't it obvious when two of the three have something and then the other one doesn't? But like...
Well, but you're the one, you had a mind of your own.
Well,
as they would
well,
say.
Goddamn right. And my mom was fine with it, although there were certain things that she wished I had done differently, but we're not the same person. But apparently the Duchess, she must have had to have done it because she did get married in the church, which neither the valedictorian or I did. Because we both did Justice of the Peace. Yeah. Although, my favorite thing about the Duchess getting married in the church was that she totally lied to the priest and said she lived with my parents. She didn't live with my parents.
Oh, how fabulous.
She'd been living in sin for so long. And I just remember thinking, when I found out that she was lying, and the confirmation must have all happened because of course they're going to check, And she started getting her mail at my parents' house, even though, because she had to, prove that she lived there or whatever.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was like, she was 30 or something, I think. Oh, God, wait,
and
let me think.
And the priest probably knew it was a bunch of hoo-hawing. Let's just go along with it anyway.
But the thing is, I remember back then, thinking, I may be like a big-time non-Catholic and just, I should just burst into flames as soon as I walk through these doors. But I've never lied to a priest.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I have never lied to a priest or a nun.
Yeah.
I love nuns. When I see a nun out in the world, I get very excited.
Oh my God, we had 2 nuns in Target a couple months ago. And they were bitches. I smiled at them, and they were just like, wow. Very grumpy.
And you're like,
and I was like,
but I'm a little Catholic boy. Good afternoon, sister.
Well, probably my earrings and nail polish and beard never helped. You know what I mean?
That.
I'm sure they were.
And I'm sure the tattoos are.
Oh, and the tattoos.
The forearm tattoos. So, did you have, speaking of, priests and nuns, did you have any priests and nuns in your family?
I'm trying, no.
My mom had a cousin who's a priest.
I think there was, a 4th cousin that lived in New Orleans or something, but I never knew. Yeah.
No, my mom's cousin, father, I think as a priest, he, maybe... See, I don't know if his name is Jerry or John. He was always Father Jerry, but I think at his church, because we went to his church once, because that's where the Duchess had her first communion. Because, of course, we have to be all dramatic when it's first communion. Oh, that's another thing. My family, dude, so I guess you had to wear a suit.
Oh, yeah.
We had this white dress and a veil. That veil, I think both my mother and her sister wore it. My cousin wore it. All three of us wore it. I think the three sisters and my cousin wore the dress. I don't think the dress was old enough for Mom.
But the veil.
Shirley. But the veil was
Did
really
you still
old.
have it, or is it still at your parents' house?
Oh, I'm sure it's at their house. Yeah. Although, actually,
you should keep it.
No, I bet it got sent back to my aunt because she has granddaughters.
Okay.
Jennifer and
that'd
Paige
be
would
kind
have-
of a cool thing to have, you know.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. But like, there's things like family christening gowns on my dad's side that like multiple like 4 or 5 generations have worn.
Wow.
You know, boys and girls. It's that kind of shit is like a big deal.
I think I have, or I shouldn't say I have, but it's in the house. I think my mom's christening gown is in the house.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sure it had been used for all the sisters.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, but it's, because we have that and we have my grandmother's wedding dress. And you know that chest that's in the living room?
Yeah.
In front of the couch?
Yeah.
That's actually, it's been refinished, but that's actually the trunk that my grandmother brought from Italy.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
And in that trunk is the christening dress,
the wedding dress.
the wedding dress, and some other stuff like that. It's maybe if when you're here, Mom will bring it out and show it to you.
Oh, I would love that. Oh my God. If I could get, oh God, if you could have seen my grandmother's wedding dress when we were cleaning out her closet, it was literally in a box. There was just all these boxes that were from her colostomy supplies, because my grandma had a colostomy bag for 40 years. No, actually 50 years, because she got it when she was in her 40s and she died when she was 95. Because there was a time when if you had ulcerative colitis, they just cut all that shit out. And you never pooped again. And which is what I have a friend, you know, who like within the last 10 years or so got a colostomy, and he was like, oh, it's so embarrassing. And I said, dude, do you have any idea how envious of you I am? You're gonna get your butthole sewed up and you never have to take a shit again,
Right.
ever. You never have to worry about that. And he's like, yeah, I guess that is kind of awesome. But anyway, but Grandma had, because she had constant flow of colostomy supplies.
Yeah.
So she had all kinds of like little boxes with her little handwriting and ballpoint pen, and one of them said wedding dress and bed jacket. It was a little like the size of a little shoebox, and we take the top off, and it had the bed jacket she wore in the hospital when my mom was born.
Oh.
And her wedding dress, which was a gauzy little hanky-hemmed, like drop-waisted flapper number.
Oh, how fabulous.
It was like lightweight gauze and like fingerless glovies, like little made out of the same gauze.
Ooh, how glam.
So fucking cute. There's no picture of my grandmother on her wedding day.
Do you have it?
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure my aunt does. Because she ended up with, I mean, I swiped a bunch of stuff from Grandma's apartment, but I wasn't going to take big stuff. And I did swipe pictures and my grandfather's ring and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But God, that kind of shit is just, I don't know why we have well, I mean, probably because it was in the 20s, but, you know, we still should have a picture of their wedding, but I've never seen one, ever.
That would have been cool.
I mean, you know.
Anyway.
But like well, see, it's like my mom's family, because they were kind of scattered, and because like they were from Kentucky, but they moved to Detroit, and then after my grandfather died, they had to move back. So there's not like a continuum of family shit as much on their side. But my dad's side, super, super Catholic, little town in Kentucky, like way like you're almost to Appalachia, like you're right on the edge of where coal country starts. And that little town had, like, I mean, I'm sure they have more now because they're bigger, but they had like one Catholic church, and I've only ever been in there. I mean, like many generations. Like my dad's family, they all grew. You know, my dad moved away, but no one else did, and they all grew up in that town. So they all went to that church. They all, you know, they were all baptized and buried and married and everything.
And is that where your dad was an altar boy?
That's where Dad was an altar boy.
Oh.
He worked for Father Poole. Father Poole was there for a long time. I do have a picture of him with Father Poole when Dad was like an adult. And Father Poole would sometimes have to go do mass and take communion out to like communities where the roads didn't go.
See, you told me about that before, and I think that's
that my
cool.
Dad would go on fucking mules on the creek bed, following the creek bed to these places out in Kentucky where people still, like, they were so far out and didn't mix with people. So there's people in this country right now who still kind of have like Scottish accents because they didn't mix with anybody else and they just talked the way they talked when they got here. He said that my whole life and I didn't understand it, and I was like, but in more recent times I've really looked into Appalachia, and it's very interesting.
See, that's cool.
But like, yeah, so Dad, although the most interesting thing, well, in addition to my dad being a very proud altar boy, although he mostly, like, you know, he liked being on stage and whatever, you know, he liked being up in front of people and being important. But apparently, and I seriously don't know any details of it. And of course, Dad never told us this story until after everyone else in his fucking generation died. So there's no one else to ask. But his grandfather's house, which was the house that I know of as my Aunt Gigi's house, which was my grandfather's youngest sister, the Klan burned a cross in the front yard of my great-grandfather's house, and Dad's pretty sure, he goes, I don't know if it's because, man, they really don't like Catholics there. Or if it's, I mean, also, my family had a store that was like one of the only stores that would, like, actually do business with black people.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm sure that factored in, but Dad was like, oh, I always assumed it was because we were Catholic. He just has this weird memory of, you know, the burning cross when the Klan came. And I'm like, well, that
is really frightening.
It's like really, really scary, but it's also like kind of awesome. Like, if you're gonna be on, if you're gonna be people that piss off the Klan, then you must be doing something right.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you don't want to fuck with them though. You know?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Because the line between pissing them off and being killed in a bad way is
very
fine, you know.
But they were also, you know, like one of the, you know, the prominent at that time. We were a prominent family in that time. Like, for example, in the Catholic Church in St. Mark's, there's like these different stained glass windows that are like, they represented like the families in the town, and it's like my family has a window in that church.
See, that's cool.
That's like I'm a pretty big deal. And the guy,
that's awesome.
And the guy who used to be obviously way after Father Poole, but there's a guy who we follow each other on Twitter, and he's very close with my extended family out there because he was the priest at St. Mark's, and he's like a celebrity priest. I mean, he's not like, you know, like the Father Jim Martin, who's like the big Jesuit guy who like knows the Pope and whatever. But Father Jim Sitchko, he drinks a lot of bourbon and he knows a lot of celebrities. And one time he got Donny Osmond to come to the church to do a show. And my cousin Kathy like lost her shit Because, oh my God, Donny Osmond is here, and there's a great picture of her with Donny Osmond. But, yeah, so, you know, very, very famous. He's not there anymore. He's in the Archdiocese of Lexington now.
Oh,
you know, he's a big shot. But
They
he's
move
very,
them
very
around now,
sweet.
though.
And I
Yeah.
have chatted with him. I have DM'd with him many times on Twitter. I even, you know, one time I even joked with him that he should come on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would really work. He's an absolutely adorable guy. I mean, like one of those really cute, funny priests that's just
that
adorable.
would be a weird. Yeah, I don't know.
But like,
It
you
would
know,
be interesting.
it's you know, parts of my family that have had a lot of like deaths in the family and stuff. That was like he was like the first. I mean, he was the first person outside of my family when my cousin's son was murdered earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
Shot to death in his dorm room in Colorado Springs. Father Jim was the first guy outside of my actual family that I actually saw like tweeting about it, and like all of a sudden I'm like scrolling through Twitter and it's like, oh my God, it's a picture of Sam. What's going? It's like, yeah. So that's my cousin's kid.
No, but he couldn't even possibly. Well, I don't know if it's different in California as it is other places, but priests aren't allowed to be in any one place for more than 5 years anymore. At least in this diocese, 5 years is the limit, and you have to get moved because of all of the molestation.
Is it because that way they can more easily cover up the molestation? Because if they're all moving all the time, how can you tell the difference?
That's a good question. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That is some shit.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to be in any one place for more than 5 years anymore.
God, that's so weird. See, it's got to be different in Kentucky because both Father Jerry and Father Jim, I mean, no, they've both been settled. Well, I guess Jerry's retired now, but Jerry had his own church for a long
region or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It pisses my mom off because
every time she likes
it,
the priest, they leave.
A priest, and then he goes.
Oh my God! Did you ever have any Did you ever have any Father Whatawastes when you were growing up?
We did. We had this one called Father Allen, who had this like really curly hair that he used to mousse, and he was probably newly ordained when he came. And of course, I was in 8th grade, so of course I was like goo goo gaga.
Fuck yes!
Know?
Oh my God!
And I remember Kim Dennis had a big crush on Father Allen.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, we had like when we were in San Jose, there was like the old, you know, Father Matt, who was the old guy, but then they had like this deacon who just became a priest or whatever, you know, this young guy, and he was like, I don't remember his name, but I can picture him. He was, wow. He was really fucking cute.
That was the only one.
Yeah.
That was the only one.
And it's
although the one when I was an altar, the same time that Father Allen was there, the pastor, Father Tim, he got molester.
And that was the guy when you were an altar boy?
Yeah, lots of lawsuits.
Oh my God.
Lots of documentation. Some people were chose to be named.
Wow. And is that how you found out about it? Because you knew the other boys? Or is that, or...
It was in the papers.
Oh,
it was all over the place. And then you can, anyway, and one of the people that it was in the lawsuit was somebody that was in my 8th grade graduating class that was an altar boy with me at the same time.
Shit.
And I used to, looking back on it now, I thought he was just a cool priest.
Right.
But knowing what I know now, I see that he was grooming us.
But he was treating you all. But he was treating you all really nicely. I guess maybe to see which ones it worked with.
I think he would just molest like the hot jock boys. He wasn't gonna molest me, the Nelly little faggot. You know what I mean?
Oh well, you know, I mean, I guess I guess even molesters have a type.
I
Oh,
guess, but I remember
so
like
upsetting.
looking back on it now, I realize that it was grooming because he would always like, talk. We'd always get invited over to his apartment in the rectory,
Oh, wow.
and he would give us cookies and juice, and he had all these records that he would play for us, and he had like, keep in mind the year, it was like 1982, and
Right.
I remember he had Journey and REO Speedwagon and Styx.
Wow.
And so he would play all these albums, and we thought he was so cool. And he would say, "Oh, anytime you want to come over, come on over."
Wow.
And looking back, I didn't realize now, but that was total grooming behavior.
Oh, yeah.
And that went on for a long time with him, since the 70s.
The Bitchen Boutique.
Yes.
I think we need to give them a thing, Spike. We can give them a drop that they can play on their
Yes,
show.
I think we've got to find some time and get
I
time
think we
to
should do it
that.
right now. I think we should do it right now. Look, I'll show you how easy it is, Spike. Watch this. I'm just going to do it live.
Okay, do it live.
Like that bloke screams. I'm just going to do it live. Watch this. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical... I can't do it now. Look, I can't speak. Too much pressure. I'll try again. Take 52. Hi, this is Dr. Dan from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, and you are listening to the most bitchin' boutique. See? That was easy, wasn't it?
Okay,
They could send us one, we could play it as. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Right, you do it.
yeah.
Right, off
What do you
go.
want me to say?
Whatever comes to mind.
Hi, this is Spike from the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast, who ain't no bitch, but you're listening to the Bitchen Boutique.
Oh, that was good. I hope they use that. Let's see if they cut it and put it in their next show.
Diplomatic community.
The music thing made me think. Did you guys do like all the folk mass things where they'd have like the youth,
We did.
the younger
We did,
priest
yeah.
would get like all the teenagers, and
Yeah.
I still have a folk mass songbook around here
Yeah, but they did.
that we've had since I was a kid, and it's
And
very
I used
70s.
to like that,
Oh my god, it was the coolest. That songbook's weird though. There's songs like Imagine and Mrs. Robinson in there. It's like, did you guys
Yeah.
read the lyrics to these
Yeah.
songs before you stuck them in here? Day by day.
But then I remember we used to have this like the hippie Bible was called the Living
Oh
Bible.
god, yeah.
And they
I
used to
remember
use
seeing
the
those in
Living
bookstores.
Bible for that mass.
Right.
And then for like catechism and stuff, they would use the Living Bible.
Because they thought kids
Because it was more modernized and kind of hippy dippy.
was it like, and then John said, "Dig it."
I mean, it was all the
I mean-
same. It was just translated a little more. Whatever. I don't remember.
I only
but
ever saw the cover. I never looked in it. Because we didn't have.
I mean, I
one,
had
so-
it. I used to have it. I don't have
Oh
it
my
anymore. but
god.
I don't. In fact, it's funny when you said something about your mom having a Bible.
That fancy Bible.
My mom still goes to church every week. When she doesn't go to church, she watches Mass on TV and very devoutly says her prayers.
Yeah.
But she does not own a Bible, and I don't think she ever has.
See, and that's one thing about Catholics. We don't read the Bible. What the fuck for? You get a Bible for your first communion,
Yeah.
and you never open it. You might have a book of Bible stories. There's times when you have to study for certain things, but the rest of the time, what the fuck do you need a Bible for?
Oh, I know. And I've
It's
tried
dumb.
to read it, and it's just
It's a horrible book. I mean, there's parts of it that
Unreadable.
there's parts of it that are really like beautiful poetry and whatever. But first you got to read, so and so begat so and so, and that goes on for 50
God.
pages, and then it's like, oh god, it's terrible. So much of it is badly
but-
written. It's terrible.
But anyway, it's funny that my mom does not own a Bible. I was surprised that your mom did.
Well, it's beautiful, and she also, oh my god, this frosted glass, very stylized and faceless statue of Mary. I'm gonna swipe that too.
Oh.
This beautiful frosted glass thing, and you could probably kill someone with that. It weighs a fucking ton. Didn't your? No, it was which one of your exes had a glow in the dark Mary?
Oh.
Wasn't it on the
yeah,
TV?
Yeah, it had to have been.
R word.
I don't know. It had to have been the big one,
Yes,
right?
I think so.
It had to have been.
Because I could, yeah. I just, yeah, because...
Because Ben wouldn't have had that.
No.
We can say his name, because we always
Because
do,
we've said
but-
Benny and Amelia Show. And also,
Yeah.
we, if you follow us on
And
Instagram,
we never say anything
sometimes...
bad about him.
No, never. And sometimes we share his stuff from the thrift store,
Yeah,
the charity
but
thrift
as-
store that he
As
manages.
kitschy as his taste was, he would have never had
Glow
a
in the dark
Mary.
Mary. No,
Yeah,
no. Oh, I would love it.
But I was devout. I had my little glow in the dark cross that I had right next to my bed
Yeah,
with little prayer cards with my kiss posters all
of
above
course.
it.
Well, talk about how devout your mom was. Like, my mom, she always went to church. She sang in the choir. I guess it was until her health got bad and she just, it was too much effort to go. And when she couldn't drive herself because when she started having the mobility problems where she had like one of her legs, she had edema
yeah.
really bad in one of her legs.
Yeah.
And she couldn't drive because it was the driving foot, and
Yeah.
that leg got huge for a bit. But that was the thing that was so weird, was that when she died, and she did not want her funeral to be at the church. Like,
That surprised me.
she
yeah,
made a
when you told me,
big
yeah.
point of, no, I don't want it to be in the church, and I don't want the priest, whoever,
Good for her. She
Yeah.
evolved.
Well,
Well,
no,
my
I
mom
mean, she
does-
still got
yeah.
last rites 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Because she got it one time when one of the priests came to visit her at the house, and she was like, "Oh, go ahead, yeah, you want to go ahead and give me last rites just in case." And
Yeah,
then she
sure,
had it
yeah.
another time, and then when we were in the hospital, because it was a Catholic hospital, they asked if we wanted to send a priest in, and we were like, "Yeah, let's do that." And we totally, that was one of the fun things, because the valedictorian married a goddamn Methodist.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just, and I felt a little bit of, yeah, fuck you to that guy, because I hate
got to
him
be
anyway.
in the room when one of my residents had last rites done one time. I asked if I could stay in and observe. It
was kind of
The
lovely.
priest said I could. It was interesting.
It was
yeah.
kind of lovely, and this was like a priest we didn't even know, and
Yeah.
he was very. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be a priest in a hospital, and you're going around
Oh,
giving
yeah,
last rites all
yeah.
day, but it was like, he was very, very sweet, and I mean, we all just like wanted to palm him some money and whatever, and he was like, you can't, no, please don't.
Yeah, yeah.
But because he was so wonderful, and it really kind of did help that day. I mean,
Yeah.
but so much of that shit is for us. It's not,
Well,
it's not for
energetically,
Mom.
oh yeah, totally.
It kind
But I
of
remember, yeah, I
prepared
thought
the
that was
room,
interesting. But my mom, it's like, she's so funny, because she's like, oh, well, I still go because I get something out of it, but I don't know what I believe anymore. I don't think I believe in half of it anymore. And I'm like, well, that's good. But on the other hand, she says all the time, I wish I could have been a better person. There's no way I'm going to go to heaven.
She says that, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hope that somehow I get to see my sisters and brother again, but I don't know. There's no way he's going to let me into heaven. And
Okay,
it
that
really
sounds
makes me sad.
Yeah, but it also sounds very manipulative, too.
I don't know, but yeah, it's not manipulative towards me in any way. It's just...
Yeah, but if you're the person
You
she's
know.
saying it to, it's
Yeah,
trying
I
to
don't
get you to
know.
tell her what a good person she is.
No, and I think if I asked her, well, what did you think you did? She would just say, oh, you don't even know some of the things I've done.
Well, I mean,
She's like...
I could see
and
her
she's
feeling...
just like, let me tell you that asshole, your father, made me a really terrible person. And I was like, well, I know
I
that,
mean, yeah,
but
I mean,
that's-
that
but I
asshole
like,
was
that's
a
in the
criminal.
past.
That asshole
I
was
was
a
like-
fucking piece of shit criminal.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's in the past.
Yeah,
God doesn't care. Look at all the good you do.
yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think she does it to manipulate. I think she's real about it. Because I remember for years and years and years and years and years, she would not take communion because she was a sinner, because she married a divorced man.
Right. And then she divorced him.
And then
Oh my
somehow,
God.
probably talking to Auntie Katie, probably Mom realized that it was okay for her to take communion.
Oh
Or
God.
maybe she could have talked to a priest. I don't know, but she wouldn't take communion for years. I remember it was a big deal. For her to take
I know
communion
that
again.
that there's a lot of, I mean, priests are a lot more lax about a lot of things,
Yeah.
because what is the point of having a thing about against divorcees? But you know, my dad's very Catholic family. When my aunt got divorced, a lot of people kind of stopped inviting her to shit, and my dad, every time he'd go out there to visit, he'd make a point of like organizing some big family thing, and he would take his sister with him to force
for
his
him.
fucking family to, because she's like one of the best people who's ever lived. She's just one of
Good
the
for
most
him.
wonderful people ever. And how fucking dare they? Who did they think they were?
It's so fucking weird.
You know.
I know.
It's like
I don't know,
rules
my
for the
mom
sake
had
of having
hang-ups.
rules.
But yeah, but I don't think her saying that, I really don't think that's a manipulation. She really believes that, and it really makes me sad. And she firmly believes, okay, like, I dream about I've been dreaming about Nana a lot lately.
Okay.
And it's so rare. And I've dreamt about my aunts and uncles that have passed, you know. I firmly believe, and I really do believe this, I believe they're visiting me.
Sure. Why not?
Because I firmly believe that dreams have a life of their own, and I have reason to believe that, but we don't, this is out of the scope of
Right.
this, right? But I do, anyway, I firmly believe that it's them visiting me.
Mm-hmm.
Saying everything is okay, blah, 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 and I have this anyway, or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Because the things with Nana have been really personal, but I really feel like it was a visitation.
Right.
Every time my mom has dreams of her mother or her sisters, she says, oh, when you dream about them, that means that they're suffering and they need your prayers. And she firmly believes
But
that.
is that because of what's happening in her dreams, or she just... I've never heard that.
Oh, no.
I've never heard
Oh,
that
yeah.
before.
And that must have been ingrained with her somehow from her family or her parents or something, because she firmly believes that. If a dead person, you dream about them, no matter what it is, if you dream about them, then they need your prayers because they're suffering and they need prayers.
And they're reaching out for that.
And they're reaching out.
Yeah, well...
So she really believes that, and she has this really
But she
ugly,
also...
fatalistic view of
Right.
God. You know what I mean?
She's
Which I
focusing
don't
so
share.
much on, you know, the hell and the torture and whatever, and she's forgetting that it's supposed to make her feel good.
I think what it is, she hates the asshole so much. And I think it gnaws at her how much she hates him, because she's just incapable of getting any sort of forgiveness. None. And I think it just...
Or just,
gnaws
at
her.
least just letting it go.
Yeah.
It's like it's an active hate that's in anger that's in her all the time.
And I think it's just festers in her. And I remember Anyway, we're getting beyond the scope.
Right.
But within the Catholic thing, it makes her think that she's not going to go to heaven, which I don't believe in heaven anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't even know for sure she does, but I think she believes in it enough
that
she's
she would
afraid
love
of
to,
not
that's
going
where
there.
she wants to,
Yeah,
because she's
yeah,
assuming,
yeah.
and she's assuming that that's where the rest of her family is, and that's why she wants to go. It's not so much because it's heaven, it's because that's where her mother and her sisters are.
Yeah. But then if they were in heaven,
Why are
would
they
need
suffering?
why would they need her prayers? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's...
But that's part of
Catholicism doesn't make a whole... Christianity doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But anyway...
Well, you know, that's the thing. It's like, it gives you what you need at the time to justify whatever you're thinking, you know, or whatever. It's like, it's...
Yeah.
But all religions do that to some extent. Which, actually, I kind of want to talk about all the stuff we actually totally love about Catholicism, because I don't want this to just be, oh, isn't it dumb? Because, god damn it, I love the pageantry. I love the ritual of it. That's another thing. Fucking
yes,
Protestants.
I love the incense and the gold censers that you swing.
I love the robes.
And I love the big gold crosses.
I love crucifixes instead of crosses, because if you've got a cross up there that doesn't have Jesus on it, you're trying to pretend, you're trying to like look away. You can't face the thing you keep talking about. Oh, he suffered on the cross for us. Well, then you should be looking at it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You should be looking at hot, skinny, sexy ass Jesus every Sunday.
I was deeply affected by the image of Jesus on the cross when I was young.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had multiple crucifixes in the house.
Yeah.
There's still one that's hanging right outside my bedroom.
I wasn't afraid of it, but I was deeply affected by it. Like, this is what the person allegedly went through for me. You know?
We're not just talking about it, we're showing it to you. But but see, Catholicism, well, because it was the first and the real religion for that, as far as Christianity goes, Catholicism's the real one. Everything else is pretend.
Everything else is
bullshit pretending. But it's like, that makes me uncomfortable. Let's just do it different. It's like, look, you're either a Christian or you're not. Fuck it. They invented Christianity.
The assholes that love watching the Passion of Christ.
Hello. Hello. Fucking torture porn.
Yes.
So but all of the imagery in churches, that all had to do with the fact that nobody could read. So they have to show you the stages of the cross, and they have to, or the stations of the cross, and they have to show you all these things, and that's that's why church art is so fucking amazing. The older it is, the more amazing it is.
I love the Stations of the Cross. I love the confessionals. There's
that
a
was
certain
another thing.
Smell of the confessional.
I've never been in one. I never went to confession.
Oh, I love the confessionals. And then there's like the little thing slides open. You go, and
there's like a grate. There's like a grate.
But there's a screen so that you can't really see. They can't really see who it is.
It's almost like a piece of wood with holes drilled in it or something, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it's either that or a corrugated glass.
Oh, interesting.
That you can see that someone's there, but you can't see who it is.
See, I don't even... The church in San Jose that we went to, it was so cash. I don't even know where the confessionals would be in there. Because it was so a big, open, multi-use room that I can't even imagine. I don't know where they were. Maybe they were in the rectory. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, but the best thing I love about real Catholic churches, a.k.a. old ones, they all have cry rooms.
Oh, God, no, cry rooms are great.
If you're going to bring your fucking baby to church, keep it in the cry room because no one wants to hear it.
That's right.
I love that they had cry rooms.
See, and I don't even think Protestant churches do that, because Protestant churches just, it's a fucking party. It's a fucking social event.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to sit there and be quiet. Oh God, yeah.
But hallelujah, praise God. We're here to praise the Lord. God damn it.
Oh my God. And then they want to bring people up to tell. Oh my God, that was the thing when I went to my friend's grandfather's funeral, the one that had the hot tub behind the altar. Mm-hmm. God, it's just burned into my brain. But so many people were coming up to me and introducing themselves to me, and I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, in Catholic Church, you just peace be with you, and shake the hands of the people around you.
And you shake the hand and kind of smile, yeah.
But it's just to the people around you. You just sort of pivot in your area. You're not walking up and down and introducing yourself to everybody. It's fuck that. And then, did you do, did you do wine and wafers for communion, or just wafers?
We used to do wine and wafers, but now it's just, and they used to put it on the tongue. Yeah. But now it's just the wafers, and you have to hold your hand out. I think that's pretty standard now. because
Yeah,
of COVID.
like I
And
always
that's been standard for a long time.
I always
actually.
did this the hold your hand out, but there were like older people would just walk up and have their tongues sticking out.
Yeah.
But like
yeah.
younger people, like we were definitely in First Communion, we were taught like you put your hand
Yeah.
inside your other hand and you hold it
Yeah,
out.
I don't remember.
But I was
But
always
now what they
afraid.
do-
Like, am I supposed to have my right hand on top or my left hand on top?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Because I automatically put my right hand under, but then it's like, but putting food in my mouth with my right hand feels weird. Now you're miming.
I always
That
put
he's
my right
miming.
hand on top. I'm trying to figure out how I do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
For the
because it
whole-
feels
all the time-
left hand on top feels weird.
All those times I take communion, but I do take communion when I go.
When I go, I do too. Yeah.
But what was but another thing that the new thing that they do, which I think is pretty cool for non-Catholics, you can go up and you cross your hands over your chest.
Oh, so like
when
from
you
the
go
back,
up,
they can't see that you don't have your
if you're
hands like this.
non-Catholic,
Uh-huh.
and then the priest will bless you.
Oh, that's nice.
And I
So,
think
so
that's
you're not
nice.
just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, so you go like that. Yeah.
Yes. And that's the other good thing. Because of all the ritual time, because we have all these we have to have times for the rituals. That's why you have the choir singing. And that's why the music in Catholic churches is better. Everything's better. It's like...
Oh, yeah.
And what's really weird is that if you go from one parish to another, it's like there's songs that the lyrics are in every single church, but it's like some local guy just makes up a melody and that's what they use for the rest of the time. I don't know why that is, but it used to every time we'd move or every time we'd go to church, like when we were in Kentucky or something and we'd go to church with my aunt, it was always so funny to me. That's like, well, we have this song too, but it doesn't. I can't
It's
sing
different.
along because I don't know this melody.
Yeah, but I like that the ritual is always the same.
Oh yeah.
I find comfort in that. The prayers are the same, the rituals are the
Mm-hmm.
same, the order is the same.
And the liturgy is always the same. Like that's one of the things. Like I have
the liturgy is always the same.
because like I have my missal, my fabulous, the kind of book that you would find in the little shelfie pocket in the pew. I found one in a thrift store and I love it.
Oh, how
It
fabulous.
has the whole liturgy for the whole year and that's the thing. No matter what the day is, there's like a theme for each day.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes through the seasons, and it's much like the Wheel of the Year.
Yep, it is.
There's everything, and like the priest comes up with a sermon to go with the theme on that day, and it's like you know that everywhere that Sunday, every Catholic is talking about the same shit.
Yep, and I like that.
It's very comforting. If you need that, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And nobody's yelling. And nobody's damning anybody to hell. The priest is not up there yelling and talking about what huge sinners you all are. That you all are. It's, if anything...
promiscuity and pornography.
Yes.
and
and lasciviousness.
And lasciviousness.
It's like, if anything, if sin is mentioned, it's just... us sinners. It's very small, and it's just, hey, we're all sinners. Nobody's pointing fingers at anybody. It's very cash.
But one thing I don't like some of the modernization.
See, and I've missed out on all that.
See, I don't do unless it's like Christmas or Easter. They don't, at least at my mom's church, they don't do with the huge gold cross at the beginning.
Oh.
They don't do that anymore. They don't do the incense censers anymore. What really bothers me the most is, remember during the Eucharistic liturgy, you know, this is my body, which will be given up for you.
And they ring the bell.
And then they ring the bell. There's no more bells.
I've gone to a lot of churches that didn't have bells. So when you go to a church, when you're not used to the bell, and you go to a church that has a bell, it scares the shit out of you.
Oh, because I always thought the bell was very meaningful.
I love the bell. And also...
And it's really disappointing that there's no more bell.
The processional coming in, another thing that I love that I don't know if it was always true and I just didn't notice it until we were in Texas, because on Christmas Eve, there's no baby in the manger until church starts, until midnight mass starts, and they bring the baby in.
And they bring it in, yeah.
See, and
yeah, they hold it up.
And sometimes it's wearing a little fancy like christening dress or something, the little statue.
But yeah, they hold it up and put it in the manger. Yeah, it's all. And see, I love all that pageantry and the bell and everything because it's very, very pagan.
It is.
But of course, it ripped off everything.
Exactly.
From paganism.
It's all pagan because they took everything everybody was doing anyway.
Pagan, so it's very comfortable to me.
And I think
maybe I say paganism was easy for me to embrace
because it all felt familiar.
It all felt familiar, but without a philosophy that I didn't agree with. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really easy for me anyway.
And also like oh shit, my brain just went nope. Well, I started thinking about the Nicene Creed for a second, and that derailed me. So it was liturgy and bells and paganism and... Oh, saints. You know, clearly I love saints. Anyone who's been listening to this show for a while knows I dig the saints.
And clearly blatant paganism.
Total polytheism. It's like, if you have a god for every different thing in a polytheistic society, this is just a way for a monotheism structure to have a little polytheistic little
to
flair.
Have your specialty, yeah.
And oh my God, if people listening don't know, they are about to canonize the first millennial saint,
which I was really excited to read about.
He's kind of fabulous.
Saint
Carlo. Little cutie Saint Carlo, who died when he was like 16 or something. But he
had miracles. He healed. He healed what, 3 people? Or 2?
I know of 2.
Yeah, I think he healed 2. Yeah, so I think
they never give us enough information about that. I think sites like CNN assume people don't want to know the details. I need the details. I want to see all the files. I want to see all the files at the Vatican about this kid. Because I want to know. Because I love that shit.
I'll light a candle to St. Carlo, for healing.
Sure, why not?
If,
I can't remember.
If and when I need it, you know what I mean?
I haven't, I don't know yet if it's, maybe he'll be the patron saint of social media influencers. Maybe that's because he's a millennial.
Oh, it might be something like that, actually. I don't know. Yeah.
I think he played soccer. And he tried to keep himself away from too much social media.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be poisoned by it. Because he was very devout. And
that's highly reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, it's sweet. It's very sweet. And it's sad that the kid, had some disease and died, but it's awesome. But I love the saints, and I love it's weird how I am totally willing to believe all the stories of the saints, and saints that can fly around, and how Saint Catherine of Siena, how they tried to steal her body, and they stole, and her head was in a bag, and it smelled like roses or whatever it was. Now her petrified head and her thumb are on display. I mean, I love that shit so much. But when I say that, I just want to kind of bring up, because when I say that my mom saw a look on my face, there's a thing in Mass called the Nicene Creed, and I can't start it off the top of my head, but if you started it, I could join in and we could do the whole thing. But every line starts...
We believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth.
Of all the seen and unseen. It's like... everything is we believe in blah, 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 blah. And... it's like when you're a little kid, you kind of learn it phonetically. Like, these are words you don't know, but everyone's saying it, and you just kind of learn all this stuff phonetically, and eventually you're saying it. And one day in church, we're in the middle of the Nicene Creed, and I am saying stuff like, we believe in one baptism for the forgiveness of sins, and like big long spiels.
Yeah.
And the words are coming out of my mouth, and all of a sudden my brain got engaged, and I'm like, what am I saying?
Yeah.
And then I stopped talking, and I just started like looked around the room. I'm like, there's hundreds of people in here, and they're all saying all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, what if they believe? Because I'm realizing, like, I've been saying it every week, and I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to say that I believe any of it, because I didn't occur to me that I was saying that I believed it. And I'm looking around going, oh my God, what if these people believe this shit? And
I bet most of them don't.
But I don't know. I don't know. They're there, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to think most of them don't, because I never did.
Because so much of it is weird. But I think a lot of people, you just get used to saying it and you don't think about it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's...
Now, when I do go to church with my mom, I never say the prayers, ever. I say the Our Father, that's it.
Yeah.
I do not do this. In fact, when everybody is saying the creed...
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. And we believe in women... Oh, no, mm-mm. Yeah, and then nope, not that either.
Yeah, we can very quietly go, don't believe in blah blah blah, don't believe in that. Don't
But remember, begotten,
not made, one in being with the Father.
One in being with the Father.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
It's like these are weird. These are weird words that people don't
and
say.
I feel like really guilty being so disrespectful to it, but you know.
But it's weird.
Because we're disrespecting a really strong egregore, but it really is really kind of crazy.
And let's not forget, the Nicene Creed, which came from the Council of Nicaea, which is where, if you all were paying attention during the Year of the Saints, Saint Nicholas got so mad at a guy named Arius who was being kind of heretical and said he didn't believe in the sanctity of the Trinity. He didn't believe in the Trinity, and they were all like, "No, the Trinities are real. Like God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, they're all equally important." And Arius is like, "I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe God and Jesus are more important." And Saint Nicholas was so mad at his heresy that he slapped the shit out of him. And when I say he slapped the shit out of him, I mean the guy shit himself to death right after that. Not immediately.
Fabulous.
But like by the next day, Arius was dead. And he basically shit out his intestines and, he basically just liquefied his insides and just vomit and shit and blood and intestines.
As you do.
And that's that's the magic of Christmas.
And that's the Nicene Creed. Although I knew it as the Apostles' Creed.
Oh, well. I knew it as the Apollo Creed. What?
But anyway.
R.I.P. Carl Weathers.
Begotten, not made.
One in being with the Father.
Through him all things were made for us men and for our salvation.
He came down from heaven. The power and the glory and the what?
I don't remember.
He is worshipped and glorified. He has spoken through the prophets. He ascended into heaven.
And is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in
glory to judge the living and the dead.
And his kingdom
will have no end.
Anyway.
But this show will.
Yes, this show will. On that note.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoy our show, please take a moment to rate and review us wherever you listen.
If you send us a screenshot of your review, we'll send you a Bitchen Boutique sticker.
Everyone loves stickers. Please subscribe or add us to your favorites wherever you get your podcasts.
Subscribers get new episodes first and are also more attractive.
Drop us a line anytime at PitneyAndAmelia@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
Woo!
I think think we hit all our points, and it was fabulous.
I think we
Ave
did.
Maria.
Alleluia.
Yes. Do you remember? Did you used to do the Alleluia, Alleluia,
Not like that.
Alleluia? Did you do that one, or did you sing another Alleluia in your church?
I don't know if I can remember it.
Yeah, there's so many different.
I remember
ways to
that
sing
the
it.
first Ave Maria I learned was a madrigal, so I didn't learn it like the fancy way. But it was, Ave Maria.
Oh yeah.
Gratia plena, Dominus tecum, Dominus tecum.
See,
Benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui. I love Latin.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another thing. At Christmas time, hot guys singing in Latin. That's I have a weakness. Father, what a waste is a big part of that. But yeah, it's like don't sing "O Come All Ye Faithful." Sing "Adeste Fidelis," motherfucker.
Yes.
That's sexy. Latin is sexy.
It is.